Diana sought revenge against the royal family from England's most ruthless politician. Margaret Thatcher told her, "There is a way to bring down the Queen, but you'll have to dirty your hands for it." The agreement made that night both empowered Diana and destroyed her. November 15th, 1988. As autumn rain enveloped London in a gloomy atmosphere, preparations were being made for a meeting that would change the course of history at number 47, a townhouse on one of Belgravia's prestigious streets. Margaret Thatcher, still Prime Minister of England at that time, the Iron Lady, used this house specifically for secret meetings. Her official residence at 10 Downing Street attracted too much attention. But this small yet luxurious house was perfect for meetings no one knew about. The person who would face Thatcher that evening was Princess Diana, only 27 years old, but a woman who had already experienced all the ruthlessness of royal life. Her marriage to Charles was a complete nightmare. 7 years had passed since the fairy tale wedding of 1981, but for Diana, it had been only 7 years of torture. Charles's relationship with Camilla Parker Bowles was no longer a secret to Diana. But worse still, the royal family was trying every method to silence Diana. Phone conversations were being monitored, letters were being opened, her circle of friends was being controlled. Diana was in despair during that period. She lived in fear of losing her children, William and Harry, while struggling to find her own identity. It was at this exact point that an unexpected offer of help came. Sarah Ferguson, Diana's closest friend and also Prince Andrew's wife, had made an extraordinary suggestion to her. "You should meet with Margaret Thatcher," Sarah had said. "She also hates the royal family, and you could be the person she needs." Diana had initially opposed this idea. Thatcher was a politician known for her conservative policies, cold and calculating. Diana, on the other hand, was emotional, spontaneous, and idealistic. How could they get along? But Sarah had insisted. "Diana, you know the dirty laundry inside the royal family. Margaret is also looking for an opportunity to crush them. If you two unite, both you can be free, and she can get what she wants." Thinking about it, Diana realized Sarah was right and agreed to meet with Thatcher. But she didn't know how this meeting would change her life. 2 weeks before the meeting, Diana entered an intensive preparation process. James Hewitt, an officer having a secret affair with Diana, had provided her with the royal family's financial documents. These documents contained evidence of tax evasion, money laundering, and offshore accounts. "These documents are very dangerous, Diana," Hewitt had said. "If they come out, the royal family will face a major scandal, but you'll also be taking a big risk." Diana was determined. "I'm not afraid anymore, James. They've been crushing me, trying to silence me for years. It's my turn now." Diana had also gathered information from Charles's private secretary, Michael Fawcett. Despite his loyalty to Charles, Fawcett sympathized with Diana. "Princess," he had said one day, "what Charles is doing to you is not right at all. If you want to ensure justice, I have evidence." This evidence included expensive gifts Charles gave to Camilla, money withdrawn from royal funds for personal expenses, and even the renovation costs of Camilla's house being covered by the royal budget. Diana now had a bomb that could shake the royal family, but she didn't know how to detonate this bomb. This is where Margaret Thatcher came into play. On the evening of November 13th, 1988, Diana's phone rang. The caller was Sarah Ferguson. "Diana, everything is arranged. Margaret wants to see you. Tomorrow evening, in Belgravia." Diana's heart raced. "Am I really going to do this? Isn't this madness?" "No, Diana, this is your only chance. Margaret Thatcher is England's most powerful woman. If she supports you, the royal family can't touch you." The next day passed with Diana experiencing a mixture of fear and excitement. In the evening hours, she left home by lying to her official bodyguard, Trevor Rees-Jones. "I'm going to Sarah's house," she had said. "I'll be back in a few hours." Trevor had been suspicious. "Your Majesty, perhaps I should come too." "No, Trevor, just girls talk. I'll be safe." Diana went to Belgravia by taxi. As she approached number 47, her hands were trembling. This meeting could change her life, or destroy it. At exactly 9:30 p.m., Diana knocked on the door. Margaret Thatcher herself opened the door. The 63-year-old former prime minister represented class and authority. With her blue suit, perfect makeup, and sharp gaze, she truly deserved the nickname Iron Lady. "Princess Diana," Thatcher said, bowing her head slightly. "Welcome." "Thank you, Mrs. Thatcher, for accepting me." "Come in. We have much to discuss." The interior was elegantly but simply furnished. It reflected Thatcher's character. Luxurious, but not excessive. Powerful, but not ostentatious. In the living room, Thatcher offered Diana whiskey. Diana normally didn't drink alcohol, but that night was different. She needed courage. "Why did you want to meet with me?" Thatcher asked, getting straight to the point without wasting time. Diana took a deep breath. She had been preparing for this moment for weeks. "Because I'm being systematically destroyed by the royal family, and I know you have problems with them too." Thatcher's eyebrows rose. "What problems are you talking about?" Diana couldn't go back now. "The Queen not openly supporting your policies, her cold attitude toward you in your weekly meetings, the possibility of her standing with the opposition in upcoming elections." Thatcher was surprised. She hadn't expected Diana to have this much political knowledge. "Where did you get this information?" "Much is heard in the palace, Mrs. Thatcher, and I no longer just listen quietly." Diana took out a thick file from her bag. This file contains documents the royal family would never want to see: financial irregularities, tax evasion, offshore accounts, money laundering. Thatcher took the file and began carefully examining the pages. Her expression changed as she saw what was inside. Diana truly possessed very dangerous information. "If these documents are real," Thatcher said slowly, "they could seriously shake the British monarchy." "They're real, Mrs. Thatcher, and these aren't all." Diana took out a second file. Recordings of Charles's private conversations with Camilla, the use of royal funds for personal expenses, even methods for hiding the Queen's personal wealth in tax haven countries. Thatcher's eyes gleamed. This information could be used not only against the royal family, but also against all political forces opposing her. "So why are you bringing these to me? What do you want from me?" Diana's voice was determined. "I want freedom, to be able to divorce Charles, to get custody rights of my children, to live my own life, and for that I need your political power." "What will I get in return?" Diana smiled. She had been expecting this question. "You'll see the Queen's downfall, the shaking of the monarchy's prestige, and as a political consequence of this, the weakening of the opposition." Thatcher stood up and looked at London's night view from the window. This offer was very risky, but also very tempting. "Diana," she said, turning around, "you are a very young and naive woman. Are you sure you're strong enough to play this game?" "I'm sure, because I have nothing left to lose." "You're wrong. You have your children, you have your life, you have your freedom, and in this game, all of these are at risk." Diana's voice trembled, but her determination didn't waver. "I'm already losing all of them. This way, at least I can fight." Thatcher slowly sat back down. "All right, but I have conditions. I'm listening. First, these documents will only be used with my approval and at times I determine. Second, you will follow my strategies. Third, if things go wrong, I know nothing about anything." Diana didn't hesitate at all. "I accept." The two women shook hands. At that moment, one of the most dangerous alliances in English history was formed. "Now let's discuss strategy," Thatcher said, sitting at the table. "Your goal is not just to escape from the royal family, but also to be seen as a hero in the eyes of the public, because without public support, you cannot win this war." Diana listened carefully. She had very little experience in political strategy. In the first phase, we'll strengthen your image. You'll increase your charitable activities, AIDS patients, homeless people, children's diseases. When the public starts seeing you as a loving and selfless mother, the royal family can't attack you. So when will we expose the scandals? Patience, Diana. Proper timing is the key to this business. If you act too early, the public won't believe you. If you act too late, they'll silence you. Thatcher took out a paper and started writing. These are the activities you'll do in the next 6 months. Each one calculated, each one serving our purpose. Diana looked at the list. Fighting hunger in Africa, campaigns for the homeless in London, embracing AIDS patients, children's hospital visits. So many things. Yes, because you won't just be a beautiful princess. You'll touch people's hearts, and then they'll protect you. For the next 2 hours, Thatcher taught Diana the intricacies of political warfare, how to use the media, how to direct public opinion, how to weaken her enemies. Diana, never forget one thing. In this game, the most powerful weapon is timing, and the biggest enemy is haste. The meeting ended near midnight. As Diana returned home, her mind was confused, but she was also hopeful. She had finally found a powerful ally. From the next day on, Diana's life completely changed. She began implementing Thatcher's list to the letter. Charitable activities intensified. Media appearances increased. Efforts to connect with the public doubled. In December 1988, Diana became the first member of the royal family to shake hands with AIDS patients without wearing gloves. This action created a huge impact and strengthened Diana's image. In January 1989, she participated in the hunger campaign in Africa. Photos of her embracing crying children made headlines in the world press. Every step was planned together with Thatcher. The two women met secretly once a week, discussing the next move. "You're doing excellently, Diana," Thatcher said during their February meeting. "The public is almost turning you into a saint. Now it's time to strike the first blow." "What will we do?" "A small scandal. We'll leak to the press about the royal family not paying taxes, but we absolutely won't involve your name." In March 1989, an article questioning the royal family's tax exemptions was published in the Times. The article was based on information given by someone called an anonymous royal source. This anonymous source was Diana, but no one knew this. The scandal's impact was bigger than expected. The opposition party brought the issue to Parliament. The Queen had to make a statement. "We succeeded," Thatcher told Diana, "but this is just the beginning. The real plan is now coming into play." In April 1989, the second wave came. News about Charles's personal expenses began appearing in the Sun newspaper. Charles's spending on polo equipment, gifts he bought for Camilla, and money spent on private travels were exposed. Diana had also leaked this information, but it was done very skillfully. No trace led back to her. In May, the third blow came. Detailed information about the Queen's offshore accounts appeared in the Mirror newspaper. At this point, the royal family began to sound alarms. MI5 came into play, starting to investigate the source of information leaks. "They're starting to suspect now," Thatcher told Diana. "You need to be very careful." In 1990, an unexpected development occurred. Margaret Thatcher was forced to resign due to a rebellion within her own party. Diana lost her most powerful ally. In their last meeting in November 1990, Thatcher warned Diana, "I can no longer protect you, but don't forget what I taught you. You learned how to use the media, how to win public support." Diana was worried. "What about the documents? Our plans?" "You'll have to be much more careful. You're on your own now, but it's not impossible." Thatcher gave her a sharp look. "But Diana, if you make a mistake, it will be your last. They're already suspicious of you now." Diana didn't take this warning seriously. She continued using the techniques she had learned from Thatcher. In 1991, Charles and Camilla's phone conversations were leaked to the press. In 1992, the Squidgygate scandal erupted. But the royal family also began making countermoves. Diana's private life was being examined. Her circle of friends was being questioned. Her past was being scrutinized thoroughly. In 1993, her relationship with James Hewitt was exposed. This was a major blow for Diana. Her image in the eyes of the public was damaged. Thatcher was right, Diana thought. Alone, it's very difficult. In 1995, Diana gave her famous interview to the BBC. In this interview, she said the words, "There were 3 of us in this marriage," and openly criticized Charles. This interview was both a victory and a disaster for Diana. She gained public support, but the royal family now declared her an enemy. Queen Elizabeth gave Diana an ultimatum: divorce immediately or face the consequences. Diana agreed to the divorce, but it was already too late. The game she had started with Thatcher was beginning to destroy her. After divorcing in 1996, Diana became even more dangerous. She was now outside the royal family but still knew too much. When her relationship with Dodi al-Fayed began, the royal family panicked one last time. Diana was now with a Muslim man, the mother of the future king and queen. During that period, Diana remembered the old days, the first plans she made with Thatcher, the documents she obtained, the tactics she learned. Maybe it's time to strike one last blow at them, she thought. But this time it was too late. On the night of August 31st, 1997, when Diana died in Paris, it was too late for anyone to teach her anything. When Thatcher heard the news of Diana's death on television, she felt deep sorrow. But she wasn't surprised. "I told her that night," she murmured to herself, "no victory in this game is without cost." After Diana's death, Thatcher never revealed what happened that night. When she died in 2013, she took the secret to her grave, but the effects of the alliance formed that night continue even today. The tactics Diana used against the royal family permanently shook the monarchy's prestige. The alliance formed on the night of November 15, 1988, didn't just change Diana's life, it also changed the future of the British monarchy. That night, Diana only wanted revenge. But what she learned from Thatcher was this: in politics, no victory is without cost, and sometimes the war you win isn't worth the soul you lose. Margaret Thatcher had given her power, but at the same time, she had also doomed her, because those who become powerful become the system's greatest enemies, and the system never forgives its enemies. The paranoia, feeling of being followed, and fear of death that Diana experienced in her final years were actually the consequences of that night. The alliance she made with Thatcher had both empowered her and made her a target. Today, even 20 years later, the mystery of that night hasn't been fully solved. But one thing is certain: the meeting of two powerful women changed the course of history, and perhaps it also brought about Diana's end, because some alliances should be thought about twice before being formed, and some revenge burns the avenger as well.